That's the big problem with this bill, is they're trying to make it illegal, and they're trying to go after your First Amendment right to post publicly on the internet or anywhere where you want. Just the fact that potentially something might be happening, but because it's an immigration support provider, that will then make it illegal. And so what's super concerning about this bill to me is it quite literally is a direct violation on the First Amendment. She says because of First Amendment organizations, we've made some amendments to this bill, and now we have some changes. But all they did was change some wording inside this new amendment, and yet it is still a complete violation of the First Amendment. It says a person, business, or association shall not publicly post or publicly display, disclose, or distribute on the internet the personal information or image of a designated immigration support service provider. And then it goes on to say, a written demand made under this paragraph shall include a statement declaring that the individual is subject to the protection of this section and describing a reasonable fear for the safety of that individual or any person residing at the individual's home address based on the violation of the subdivision. So they're basically saying that if you go out and you go expose a location for committing fraud, potential alleged fraud, let's just say it's alleged fraud, and then that person says, well, hey, if you film that video, that's going to cause a reasonable fear to me and to our business. And so that means that you cannot post this video publicly, and if you do post this video publicly, you're then going to have to go to court, and you might have to pay a $4,000 civil fine, and you're also going to have to pay back our attorney fees when we then take you to court for exposing our fraud. And so let's take the hospice fraud, for example, inside of California, because it's being committed by immigrant communities, the Armenians, and they could be providing services to immigrants with their hospice care that they're then providing to, let's say, an immigrant. So let's say you go to Miracle Hospice inside of California. You go there and there's actually nobody there. And while you're exposing the hospice that doesn't exist, somebody inside the building who also owns a hospice comes out and says, hey, you cannot be filming this property because we also own a hospice here and we provide service to immigrants. And then they give you a piece of paper that says, hey, you cannot post that video publicly, then you can actually not post that video publicly. So let's say, theoretically, that happened when I was filming my hospice video, because there was a hospice called Miracle Hospice that had absolutely nobody there, and then a man came out screaming and shouting at us for exposing all of the other ghost hospices. If that man then gave me a piece of paper and said, hey, you cannot post that video because my hospice is also here, you cannot then post that video. They're trying to make it illegal and criminal to go after those that expose fraud. While we should be celebrating people who expose fraud, California right now is actively trying to make it harder for fraud to be exposed.